Once there was a boy, he was very gay and not the good kind. So the boy ran away because he was accepted in the economy. He went somewhere no one will ever find him. No, not behind the barn, somewhere magical. He would find his true place and turn into warrior like no other and will fight not to be homosexual. The boy's name was Eric and he never did become a warrior, but one day a boy the same as him named Link came to the door and said let's have fun, and he pulled out a rope and wrapped Eric in it and started doing something unimaginable to him. After he was done, Link walked out the door. Eric stood there feel very disturbed. He went into his poorly constructed wooden home and made a sword. He then went out to kill animals. But he ended up hurting himself. He was found by women. There the women took care of him for a bit and let him recover. There Eric realized that he was not gay but just retarded. The women told him to leave because if her dad finds her he will be hit. Eric walked back to his ship house. There he found a dog equally retarded as he is. He named him Tajubin. Taju walked up to Eric with his retarded walk and bit him in the ass. Eric then bit the dog in the ass and started taking off his pants, but the dog said stop, that's sexual harassment. Eric then took the dog into his house and didn't come out for 3 days. When he did come out he was wearing a dress and saying that we can't tell anyone in. Eric then woke up, found out he had a wet dream. He shit in his bed and made the wooden house smell awful. Eric then found Diju smelling the shit and licking it. Eric hit the dog and said stop. Eric went back to the forest to see if can make more woodland creature friend. He just ended up killing squirrel and eating it. Eric was by the fire eating the animal while the dog killed Bunny and was eating it. Eric farted that the fire blew out. Eric started screaming very loud and was very upset. The dog and Eric went back to the house and sat down. Then they sat down. They started talking about Abama. After their talk they realized that they should go kill Abama. So they set out on their quest and found the Hope. Not a garden hoe but a woman hoe. They vended her and they took her on their quest. When they got to the White House, Abama then said that if they didn't kill him he will give them Osama bin Laden's body. They said okay and then dry humped the body, but it wasn't good enough, so they killed Obama with their Glocks and then took his wife as a slave, but it turned out she was a man and they killed her too. After eating her body they went and took shits in Obama's solid gold toilet and had sex in his bed. And then they went and killed more woodland creatures and ate them raw but got AIDS right after they ate it. They went to the hospital to cure the AIDS. But there was no cure. So they killed the doctor and managed to inject themselves with nuclear waste. Eric then was able to piss out highly explosive excretion. So Eric went to the ocean and pissed in it so he can eat the aquatic animals. After eating them Eric and friend stared to take a shit. The shit was so highly concentrated of nuclear waste that on impact, the ground exploded killing Eric. But then Eric DJ'd JDJ came back alive because we want to continue this retarded story. Eric and his friends went on the road and were looking for something, but they found an army of cockroaches and took out his intervention with FMJ and quick-scoped them and killed everyone, and since there were no more people they went to a different planet called Planet I Don't Give a Crap. And they dressed up as the Russin from the Tredlolo song and became very famous on Didn't Give a Crap. Then Eric made the nuke out of his nuclear excretion and destroyed the planet of I Don't Give a Crap. They got back home and sat down. But if you relax that this story will control your mind. Just kidding. Eric actually was dreaming this whole time. He woke up and said, what the hell was I smoking? Eric went outside. He saw that World War has started. It was all because someone killed Obama. So Eric went to buy a watch, and when he went home and went to sleep, and it turned out the first thing he dreamed was a dream. So him the Jew and their home Shoshana go to find Dumbledore to rebuild the world, but when they go to where he is they find out he died in the 6th movie, so they went to go find Harry Potter. Then they find him, he is hanging Ginny, and when they ask him to fix the world he pumps Ginny a few more times and jizzes into the sky and everything is fixed. They thank him and then go farther to find someone to resurrect all the people they killed. Then Eric accidentally farted and killed Harry. Then Jesus came out of the clubs, took Eric by the hand, and said, please my Suyun, come with me. Eric then met Seed Nanders. Seed Nanders was naked, except for colorful sock that was covering his dick. The sock said, I want to be freed. So Scene members gave Eric the sock, and he exploded into confetti. Then Eric jumped back with Jesus. They were in dark room. Jesus then was wearing suit, and he said that this is the Matrix. I have freed you. That the dreams and world is all fake. Then Jesus in the suit exploded. The baby came out and flew away. There was rainbow coming out of its ass. Eric started walking. Everything was white with nothing on it, so he kept walking and saw a castle in the distance. And when he went inside, Simon and Lewis from the Yogscast are sitting in huge golden thrones waiting for him. They tell him that life for them can't exist without people, so they have to restart the Matrix. But a demon virus named Rebecca Black will torment the people if he doesn't kill her before they start it again. Eric just now realizes that Diju and Shoshana weren't with him anymore. So he said that he needed help, so the Simon says in his dwarfish voice followed him, and a big muscular man named Mike comes out and greets Eric like an old friend. Simon says that he trained Mike himself and Mike can fight well. Eric asks where they can find Rebecca Black, and they say that she slithers around the bad music and ugliness of YouTube. Eric then knew where to go. They set off with the diamond swords if the holy Yogscast. Simon and Lewis then disappear into the distance. All they hear is Simon munching on Jaffa cakes. On the way looking for bitch Rebecca Black, they meet Ray William Johnson. He was on wooded chair, waking off to Asian midget Nazi zombie porn. Eric goes up to him and touches him. He turn around. He starts screaming and explodes. And then comes back. And then spontaneously combustion occurs. Eric then says he likes goldfish and walks away. Then they see Rebecca Black sitting on top of big black guy's tummy. Sly Fox jumps out and says, "What's up, bitches?" It's Sly Fox. So Eric takes Sky. And then Sly flies up into the sky. Then P-Bat comes out and says, "Hi Checkums. Let's kill Rebecca." So suddenly P-Bat turns white. But he is actually Michael Jackson. Then they do the Thriller and Jackson goes to Rebecca. And Beachy slaps Rebecca. She screams and barfs out Thrill. And exploded. Then Trix Rabbit comes out. And says, "You have found me. This Thrill is all mine." Then takes out gun and says, "I will put caps in your ass." Everyone gets screams. Who the rabbit is on it, but Mike knows what to, and he busts out the tea. And SpongeBob jumps out with a knife, but he is no match for the crack Trix Rabbit, and SpongeBob gets brutally murdered. So Mike, knowing that nobody is a match for him, so he takes out a pokeball and says, "Hutch, I chose you." And Hutch, wearing a solid gold thong, comes out and beats the shit out of the rabbit, and he signals Eric, Mike, Sly Fox, P-Bat and Ray William Johnson, and they all charge at the evil sittering untalented YouTuber, and they beat the shit, but she takes out Hutch, P-Bat and Sly Fox. But while she was busy eating their carcasses, Mike and Eric beat the shit out of her and killed her with the holy diamond swords of the Yogscast, and cut off her head for Simon and Lewis, and go in their way back to the castle just to find that all the servants were dead, and there is no Simon or Lewis, but size they are invincible gods. They were not dead, and there was only a little clue to where they could be: a piece of a hammer and sickle. Then an explosion occurs. The castle crumbles. Then Tom Cruise says that World War III occurred. Then from the smoke comes out FPS Russia. He says, "Let's make sure they have a bad day." From the other side, fully arsenaled, Bentley Meatwagon and Spider-Bite come out with upgraded Wonder Waffle ray gun, fully automatic ship, MMO blasters. Then from the sky fly a plane. FPS Russia says, "Those are the ones we killed." The plane turns into a transformer and the gang goes into dust to fight it. Out of the sky, Guns for Hire says, "Come with me here." They go to Peakful Place, where Guns teleports to Somewhere. Then Eric is alone. And then, glowing light pops out. It says, "Dolphin dive into the light." White Boy 7th Street was waiting on the other side. He was wearing shirt. It says, "Screw you bitches and hoes." Then White Boy gives Eric the next controller. Then White Boy sets on fire, flies up in the sky, comes back, and says, "Don't forget to rate and subscribe. And then says I love it when you like it. Then he explodes into fuzzy, funky, colorful balls of Pony Explosion McNuggets. Then Eric teleports into a room. Then he sees the angry video game nerd tied up. Then Eric says oh shit. Then Ronald McDonald stabs him, and he turns to Big Mac. Then Ronald says I like boys. I am cause of World War. Eric realizes that he hasn't eaten since that one woodland animal, so he takes the Big Mac and eats it. He goes to the video game nerd, unties him, and he says that they have to stop the Tredlolo Russians from taking over the world by holding the Yogscast hostage. They then go on the nerd's magic flying handy and they go to the demon hold where only Yzma Blade and White Toronto are using their knives to kill evil Russian Nazi zombie midgets so they can save the Yogscast. They were doing well, but they could fight for much lower. So the nerd drops the biggest F-bomb you ever heard, and Super Meshadith cries busts through the wall and blasts all of Russian Nazi zombie midgets, and Eric gets through and has to face his greatest fear. Russians that can't talk. He runs into High and stabs him with his diamond sword, and you hear this terrible screaming, and a demon comes out of the Russian's mouth and flies away. Eric goes and unties the Yogscast and go back to the castle just to find the decapitated body of Wutis Gamertag. Then the sun rises up into the air. Sun shines up. It shoots laser beam. Then Tripe Rainbow comes out of everyone's ass. Except Eric. Eric then flight into the sky. Sees Saturn. Then Jesus playing poker. Eric then sees Millennium Falcon flying around the Death Star. Then Eric J find Iron wakes up and says what a shitty ending. So the ending does won't happen that way. It coolly occurs differently. In huge bonfire, which burns all the plastic dolls that Eric collected from his journey to your Forsaken Fortress. But we'll talk about that later. Maybe not. Probably not. J. Eric is still flying up in the sky. He sees the world. It turns pink and flicks Eric off. AMV says don't come back, faggot. Then Eric is on island where Teletubby is smoking cocaine. The TV turns on, and it's Obama. And he's saying, Eric, what the hell? Then Barney come out. AMD stabs the Teletubby. AMD then hugs Eric. Then Pedo Bear come out and kills Barney. And then this whole messed up story is Eric's dream. Like he coolly dreams this shit. He is one messed up asshole. Now get the hell out of here. Goodbye. Windows 1987 is shutting off. Windows Sam is shutting off.